feeling never really goes. And you won't find love at the bottom. A classic home.
Hey, yo, Mo, with this.
Peace. This is your boy Juice Wanna with another episode of Smoke and Jokes, where we discuss today's topics while indulging in the greatest of herbal essences. And today's show is brought to you by Alien Berries. Yo, listen. This is a fruit of a foreign nature. That's all I'ma tell you. This is a fruit of a foreign nature. Okay. Now, I've been going through some audio problems if you ever been following the show. And so I think I've discovered what the problem was, at least to some degree. Okay? So this is what it is. This is what I'm up against. Okay? So, I wanted to get into a couple of articles here. Oh, pardon me. Yes, I'm a grown man eating some little kid's baby Teddy Grahams. I don't care. Judge me not. Judge me not. Okay. So, let's get into this article right here. Right? It says, a Kansas boy enters a unique insect into a state fair. It triggers a federal investigation. Whoa. Whoa. Now, when I first seen the title, I was thinking something on the lines of some Tom Clancy or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? But it's still relevant, and I thought I should share it with you. A boy showcasing his bug collection. Hold on one second here. All right. Okay. It says, a boy showcasing his bug collection at a Kansas City State Fair last week didn't know, but he had a rare and dangerous specimen lurking in his midst. Okay. This right here look like a moth. It's called a spotted lanternfly, shown at a Pennsylvania vineyard, appeared in a boy's bug collection in the Kansas State Fair. You know, it says the invasive insect, not previously known to be in Kansas, can damage trees and crops. This is not the time that you want that to take place. It's a lot of things happening, and the last thing you want is your crops to be all messed up, right? It says, hold on here. It says, his fine has triggered state and federal investigation. The spotted lanternfly, Lycoma. We're not gonna do this. We're not gonna do this today or any other day. We're gonna leave that alone, and you're gonna act like you know you'd be right there with me, okay? All right. Is an invasive species that has been wreaking havoc for years out east, but no infestations have made it further west in southern Indiana. And that one is limited to a single county, according to a map from the New York State Integrated Pest Management Program. All right. So it says that's what made last week's discovery so shocking for officials trying to figure out how an adult spotted lanternfly ended up more than 850 miles from the nearest known infestation. The 4-H participants who had been collecting, positioning, and labeling specimens all year found the bug at his home in Thomas County, which sits in the northwest part of the state, said Wade Weber, no relation, state leader for the Kansas 4-H program. So, for you out there, just understand, we had the hornets. Let me tell you, we have the lanternflies as well. You know what? You got to understand, there's hurricanes and winds, and these things can push things in whole different areas. Like, especially when it's severe the way it's been, I can see them shooting things all over the place. I'm serious. So I don't know how that can happen, but I think that they should keep my thought on it in consideration, because that might also play a part in other insects or birds, anything could be transferred around in this type of way. So, I'm just saying it's something that you might want to consider. Right? So, here we go. It says, Kim Jong-un's sister warns of complete destruction of South Korean ties if slander continues. Ooh, she's not having it. No. She's saying this is not going to be accepted. So South Korea, the powerful sister of Northern Korean leader Kim Jong-un, on Wednesday criticized South Korea's president and threatened a complete destruction of betrayal relations after both of the countries tested ballistic missiles hours apart. She's like, hold on. It's like a woman wearing coming to the party with the same dress on and shit. She's like, hold on. Hold the fuck on. You don't show off your rockets when we show it off ours. This is our day. You do that shit. Like, come on, man, what's going on here? You see us showing off some rockets, so you want to show off? Hell fucking no, listen. You're fucking with the peace, bitch. She's like, yo, listen, take that fucking costume, take that fucking dress off right now. Take that rocket suit and dress off right fucking now. I'm not fucking having it. This was my day. I wanted to show off my rocket, and here you fucking come with it to show off your rocket on my day. Fuck nah. We ain't gonna be cool after this. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. The launches of missiles underscored the return of tensions between the rivals at a time when talks aimed at stripping North Korea of its nuclear program are stalled. Oh, I see what this is. This is one of those. Yeah, all right. Yeah, you think we gonna stop this? You think? You out your rabbit ass mind and shit. Start some shit up. Let them know that we need any kind of beef. We need some beef so we can say, nah, fuck that. We ain't doing it. We ain't fucking doing it. Okay. Kim's sister, Kim Yo Jong. Don't fucking listen. Okay. I'm assuming that the last names are first and the I don't know how the fuck that's working. Kim's sister, Kim Yo Jong, criticized South Korean President Moon Jae-in for comments he made while observing his country's missile test, including its first of a submarine-launched ballistic missile. Moon said South Koreans' growing missiles capabilities will serve as a sure deterrent against... Hey, that's what it is. I mean, I see where you coming from there. It sounds like they tried to start some shit with you. Like, yeah, we got these missiles. I want to see one of these motherfuckers. And she's like, what? She's like, what? Oh, trust. I get a fucking poppin', motherfucker. I got big had the missiles. You just knew. You probably don't even know how to bust them shits correctly. Bitch, we been had them. I'm telling you, I could see it now. I could see it now. Okay. The test comes out, after the South Koreans and Japanese militaries said South Korea had fired 2 ballistic missiles into the sea. So they like, hey, listen. Japan like, oh, word. You know, because they cool with China, I guess. They're like, oh, this shit is real. Asia trying to get popping. You know what I'm saying? Asia gang they popping. They just let loose the Afghanis and the Taliban and all of that. Hey, it ain't for me to question it. I'm just saying. Okay. Let's see here. Close you out. And it goes. A boy went to a COVID swamp EA. EA. I'm thinking of the sport. This ain't a sport. Okay. He waited for hours. Then his appendix burst. It says, ProPublica is a non-profit newsroom that investigates abuse of power. Okay. Sign up to receive our biggest stories as soon as they're all published. Let's see here. What first struck Nathaniel Osborne when he and his wife took their son Seth to the emergency room this summer was how packed the waiting room was for a Wednesday at 1 p.m. The Florida hospital emergency room was so crowded there wasn't enough chairs for the family to all sit as they waited. Hours passed, and 12-year-old Seth's conditions worsened. His body's quivering from the pain, shooting across his lower belly. Osborne said his wife asked why it was taking so long to be seen. A nurse recalled rolled her eyes and muttered, "COVID." You know, this is what I'm gonna say. If you can have a medical staff still see all of that and reluctant to get in the shots, take it how you want it, bro. I'm just saying, if they're reluctant to get the shots and they're witnessing this, it's gonna be pretty hard for people to just slide in that type of way. Is all I'm saying. I mean, I could be wrong, I could be right. Who knows, right? Who the fuck am I? You know what I mean? Let's see here. Yeah, COVID. Chef was finally diagnosed with appendicitis, whatever the fuck. Oh, I'm not laughing at the situation. I'm laughing at me. Okay? More than 6 hours after arriving at Cleveland Clinic, Martin Health North Hospital in late July. Around midnight, he was taken by ambulance to a sister hospital about a half hour away that was better equipped to perform pediatric emergency surgeries, his father said. But by the time the doctor operated in the early morning hours, Seth's appendix had burst, a potentially fatal complication. Okay, here. No, this is what COVID is doing. I'm saying it makes you not want to go to the hospital for anything. Like I got a sharp pain in my back and I like hesitant on going and shit. I think I'm gonna go tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? But I'm being honest with you. You know, just going through all of that, it makes you hesitant on even wanting to go in that situation. Period. So I think I might just go to my physician. Okay. It says here. It says so. Fauci says there's no evidence COVID vaccine cause reproductive issues. Why is this even mentioned? I didn't even know this was a thing. Wait a minute. Come in, Dr. Anthony Fauci, and the nation's top. Wait, hold on. It goes here, right? It goes. The nation's top infectious disease expert has debunked a viral tweet from rapper Nicki Minaj that suggests COVID-19 vaccine could cause reproductive issues. Minaj, who has over 22 million Twitter followers, sparked controversy Monday for a series of tweets she posted about the COVID-19 vaccine ahead of the Met Gala. I guess she used that time to say what she had to say, I guess. Okay, I mean, I didn't know, and I don't know if Dr. Fauci has debunked it. Like, I think we need more than him just popping up saying, no, that ain't true. I'm sorry to say. Saying you debunked something simply by saying that does not debunk it. That's like saying, yeah, I could prove Jesus exists and pointing to the Bible. It's like, what? It's like, Obi, that's a book that somebody written. Yeah, but it was written about, listen, that's no proof. Never mind. Anyway, the Met Gala, and apparently that was some stupidity that I seen. I'm not. If you noticed, I don't try to focus. Matter of fact, I'll run through the bullshit that I saw. You know what I'm saying, tomorrow. But I really try not to touch on that stuff. For me, it's not important like that. Those are, distractions. And now that you're seeing this black people at the Met Gala and all, it just seems way, way more, distractive to me. I could be wrong. You know what I'm saying? They wanted you to get vaccinated for the Met. The 38-year-old wrote, if I get vaccinated, I won't for the Met. It'll be once I feel I've done enough research. I'm working on it right now. In the meantime, my loves, be safe. Wear the mask with 2 strings that grip your head and face, not that nose one. Okay, I feel her. She later clarified that she was skipping the gala because her young child, who was born late September, not because of the vaccine requirements, but Minaj posted another tweet about her cousin friend in Trinidad who allegedly experienced impotency after getting the jab, and it prompted a wide response from both fans and health officials. This sounds like a soap opera, Nikki. I'm sorry. I don't know what to make of this. I really don't know. This just sounds crazy. So I will leave it alone. I would just act like I didn't read that. Okay? Because as you can see, some things I just, like I see the title and I'll be like, okay, I'm reading it with you. You know what I'm saying? We gonna find out. Other things, I might have went through earlier, read, really did my research, and, I know, what it's about. So, most of this stuff right here, I don't think it had any impact. It wasn't nothing that I seen that, geared towards more the in-depth stuff. So I'm just cruising through. You know what I mean? It goes, a 40-year friend of a capital... Wait, hold on. My fault, people. My fault. It says here, a 40-year friend of a Capitol police officer reported him to an FBI for disclosing the secure location of lawmakers on January 6th, report says. Now, you see, this is what I've always been telling people, that there's no way that Blue Lives Matters could not have been a part of that. Now you see those people that were attacked and all of that. They were attacked because they wasn't in the loop. The cops knew that they wasn't down with that bullshit, and so they get left for example purposes, should I say. That's what I say. What they say, like casualties of war. You know what I'm saying? A Capitol police officer, a Capitol police officer's 40-year friend turned him into the FBI after a January 6th insurrection. The friend worried the officer had fallen into a cult and said he had revealed lawmakers' locations. Remember, I think it was yesterday or the day before, I was on Clubhouse, and I asked people, are you in a cult? A lot of people don't want to talk about these things because they thinking that it's not them. The whole woke community is a cult. That's all a part of that communist movement, which is like basic. I'm gonna just say this the final nail in the coffin for for all, freedoms, not just black freedoms. We haven't even obtained a freedom. You know what I'm saying? So I guess we just like the poster childs of fuck it, just go with the flow type shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, they keep using us for examples, whether it was the Mandingo effect with building us up to now the castration, you know what I'm saying, of the black man. You understand what I'm saying? Which is also the symbolization, the castration of all men when it comes to this so-called power and in control, and welcome to the New World Order. So, this is, what I tell people about, being in a cult. A lot of people really don't know that they're in one, right? It says, the agency's internal watchdog recommended discipline for 6 officers over the riots. It goes, a U.S. Capitol officer's friend of 40 years worried he had fallen into a cult and reported the officer to the FBI for revealing the secure location of lawmakers who had evacuated during the January 6th insurrection, according to documents obtained by McCarthy. Listen. We're not gonna listen. I'm not even gonna pay attention to you. We're not gonna do this, man. You're not gonna keep harassing me. We're gonna act like, man, fuck you, man. That's it. I said it. Okay, that's it. It says the U.S. Capitol Police announced on September 11th that it intended to discipline 6 officers for their actions on January 6th, following 38 internal investigations into officers' conduct on that day. Yes, the agency's Office of Professional Responsibility was only able to identify the actual officers involved in 20 of the complaints and substantities, actual violation by 6 of them. The office recommended punishment in the case of 3 officers for conduct unbecoming, 1 for failure to comply with directives, 1 for improper remarks, and another for improper dissemination of information. So, out of these, let me see. Who would automatically go to jail? Fuck, just fired. In the case of 3 officers, conduct unbecoming. The 1 failure to comply with directive, depending on what that was, it could end with just being fired, right? Or it could go all the way to criminal case, depending on what that directive was, right? Improper remarks. That could definitely get you fired, right? But if we're in the streets and we say certain things, we can get arrested for that. So I think that, yes, that should be depending on what was said. Like, unless it's like, get the fuck out of here. I'm not doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like, they nervous for their life type shit. Like, listen, I'm not, you know what I mean? That's different. Now, you might just get fired for being a fucking coward. You know what I'm saying? And another for improper disseminations of information. I'm trying to figure out, like I guess he was probably sending them the wrong fucking way or some shit like that. That's jail and fired, you fucking prick. You know what I'm saying? The agency said that the U.S. Attorney's Office in Washington, D.C. had not found enough evidence, however, to charge any of the disciplined officers with any crime. See? So they on it like me. On some like, yeah, maybe we should put your ass in jail. You know what I'm saying? Maybe, I don't know. I'm just thinking, I don't really want to read no more. It says the mob that descended on the U.S. Capitol on January 6th, driven by former President Donald Trump, falsely conspires that the 2020 election had been stolen from him, sought to stop Congress from counting the election votes to affirm President-elect Joe Biden's election win. I know they real mad now with all of this that shit. They like shit. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I don't play no side of this. I'm just an asshole, just observing. Don't pay no attention to me. Like, motherfucker. That's why they ain't trying to send these motherfuckers to jail. They like shit. Everybody hating Biden right now. So, the friend, identified as anonymous, called the FBI and expressed concern that the officer genuinely believed Trump's election fraud claims, sympathizes with the rioters' cause, and put lawmakers' safety at risk, McCarthy reported, citing internal investigative documents that have not been public. I do not want to report my friend of 40 years, but he says enough concerning statements that I feel like I need to do this. He's just fallen into this cult and these beliefs. The friend told Capitol Police investigators in an interview per the documents. The officer in question denied that he had agreed with the rioters' belief that the election was stolen from Trump, but didn't rule out the possibility that he inadvertently revealed the lawmakers' secure evacuation location. Oh, okay. So he's not stunting like, he didn't. He's saying maybe I did it, but not in the way that, like I just said over here was, inadvertently. I can't say 100% that I didn't do what you're telling me I did, the officer in question told internal investigators per McCarthy, but the communication and leadership breakdown by Capitol Police leadership and the actions of specific officers leading up to and on January 6th has been a focus of congressional committee probing the insurrection, and now penalties of House selection committees on as well. So this guy here, he keep it G. He said, listen, I hear you though. You know what I'm saying? He kept it G. So listen, I'm not going to say I didn't do it because I don't know. It could have happened. I'm not saying you might pull up some shit. The next thing you know, I'll be like, oh shit, I didn't know that, you were saying that. I didn't, you know what I'm saying? So don't get me to say I didn't do something. I don't know how you perceive what I did. You understand what I'm saying? I could have just been saying, oh, the bathroom is over there, and, that's where they go. Where do they use the bathroom? Oh, they go. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying I've been in that situation where you don't want to just be saying some shit, and the next thing you know, it's really, some other shit. You know what they say, your man, what's that shit? Your memoranda rights. It says you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. Never said anything you say can and will help you. It says everything that you say can and will be used against you. So you could be saying some stuff that did help you. They're going to ignore all of that. They're going to wait for you to say some shit. that can harm you, and that's what they using. That's why you keep your fucking mouth shut, because the memoranda rights tell you you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. Used against you. Enough said. So, I understand why this person said what he said. Now the friend, I kind of understand him too, but you ain't really a friend no more, I guess. You said 40 years, man. He's assuming that in 40 years you understood like him. You live and you learn, right? 40 years down the fucking drain. You know what I'm saying? Because the guy don't agree with you on Trump, being screwed. You know what I'm saying? I don't see how the two, yeah, you're right. I can see how they coincide, but I don't see how it plays a part with him, I guess, only due to the fact that he was a Capitol Police officer. You know what I'm saying? So you see me, I'm on the gate. Not that I have an opinion, but I'm on the gate because it's just for everybody else to come up with their own conclusions. It's not for me to lead the people. You know what I'm saying? It's not for me. The court system. If I was a legal court system and shit, trust me, his ass would be in jail, motherfucker. That's all I'm saying. Ain't nothing to talk about here. You know what I'm saying? So let me see what else we got here. Okay. You got anything coming up? Hold on. Let me see here. Let me show you some stuff that I'm looking at. It goes, Biden announced joint deal with UK and Australia to counter China. You want to read that? I don't. I don't care. Like, all of that stuff is the end game, man. We ain't got no part in that level right there. You know what I'm saying? Paranoia and accusations cloud efforts to launch justice for January 6th rally. Yeah, that's how they do it. Keep everything where everybody is everything. Them's prepared. See, and this is real, right? This is how you know that this is all white America, right? Because if this was black America, it wouldn't have to take a friend to rat you out. It'd be the whole fucking it'd be everybody on that side of fucking town. Listen, man, you try to get the cut. We make money out here, man. We hustling, man. You fucking up the bread, man. And somebody calling the fucking cops, you know what I'm saying? The next thing you know, their hustle just got a little better because now they got some money to re-up your rat bastards. You rat bastards. You know what I'm saying? Utah police stopped Gabby Petito and fiance after fight on road trip before she went missing, reports say. This fucking dirtbag here, man. I hope you didn't kill that young lady. U.S. House. Sometimes you be wondering, like, do people do that just, like, for their, like, 15 minutes of fame or something? Because you got so much evidence and everything looking strange against you. And you don't even say, fuck it, let me just go on the run. Let me just come back and act like everything is gravy. Like, that's what I mean. Like, you don't even take the I'm out of here approach. You know what I'm saying? You had yourself a little time or something. Your stupid ass want to come back and act like we all believe that bullshit you said. I don't understand why they do that shit. I never understand that. Every time I see that shit. High courts will serve U.S. court papers on Prince Andrew if necessary. We don't care about none of that. Police department behind Elijah McClain's death is widely racist. AG state agency finds out. Let's see. Yeah. See, this is what I get to here. Right? It says, months before George Floyd was murdered by police in Minnesota, the death of Elijah McClain in Aurora, Colorado sparked broad outrage at what critics painted as a lethal brutality by racist cops. Look at these faces. I want y'all to understand. Look at them. Look at these pricks, man. These guys look like they just, I don't know. Hey, look at him. Look at him right here. Not the one he pointing to. You could just tell. I don't know. I could just see all of them as hateful. On Wednesday, State Attorney General Phil Weiser added new fuel to the fire, releasing a damning probe that details systematic racism in the department behind the young man's brutal demise. On August 19th, McClain, a 23-year-old black man, was walking home in Aurora when local police tackled him and handcuffed him after 9/11 calls had flagged a sketchy person in the area. Later, McClain, who was wearing a ski mask and listening to music at the time of his run-in with the police, was sedated by fire rescue personnel with a large dose of ketamine. Now, isn't that what they use to, isn't it like a horse tranquilizer or some shit like that? If I'm correct. The young man went into cardiac arrest and died 3 days later in the hospital. The cause of death was listed as undetermined in the coroner's report. A large protest movement around McClain's death put pressure on police, and buoyed by a national wave of rage after Floyd murder, helped push lawmakers to pass a sweeping police accountability bill, giving the state AG new power to go after local cops. Okay, so you could say one thing about that bill. This right here. I don't know if it'll help. Maybe it'll be a deterrent in the future, hopefully. But I could say that right now, if it did anything, it did this. You know? Meanwhile, this month, 2 Aurora Police Department officers, an ex-officer, and 2 paramedics were criminally charged with McClain's death by Weiser. So, 1, 3, yeah, because one motherfucker tried to quit, tried to slide out. You know what I'm saying? So all 5 of these pricks, you know what I'm saying? You know, regardless of how that cast plays out, Weiser reports on Wednesday found that the department's problem goes well beyond one disturbing incident, and it suggests local officials faced a long road to getting out of the national spotlight. You know, I tell people all the time, you know, I'm not gonna say that I didn't live a criminal life, right? And when I say criminal, hold on, I want to say, for me, criminal meant that, like black on black crime, you know, stuff of that nature. And I meant imposed crime. You know what I'm saying? At that time, I didn't really look at, selling drugs as a crime. That's why I really was never really into selling drugs. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't see drug dealing as a crime. I saw it as um, a foolish occupation. I mean, there's a lot you got to go through to get just a little bit of money. You understand what I'm saying? To just sustain yourself is like a part-time job with a lot of fucking risk and bullshit that come with it. You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel. You know what I mean? But hey, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying you don't get real money from it. I'm just saying when you put everything together, you know, it's crazy. So I never really, you know, saw that. But I have participated, like I said, in criminal activities, meaning crimes on my people before. So I'm not, you know, coming in that face. But I am saying that there has been times that I have been wronged by the legal system. Wrong. I mean, falsely accused, blackballed, and I'm still, you know, suffering from those actions today. You know, one day I'll probably get into it, one day I probably won't. Who knows, right? But at the end of the day, the legal system is my number one fight. Like, coming into the streets, first thing that I was doing was fighting police and stuff like that. Like, I have a long history of that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So my mentality was always that when I was younger. So, and it was because of understanding this stuff right here. Listening to NWA and not being engulfed in, you know, the gangster part of it, but seeing the numbers and understanding that those numbers at my time, you know, I was younger than them. So in my mind, you know, I guess gangster meant going against the oppressor and the abuser, but the next thing you know, you just really fighting yourselves as being oppressors and abusers. So, I mean, that's what I leave with that note. You know, it's just what it is, people. You know what I mean? You got to take the good with the bad. But like I said, knowing that legal system, you know, I'm an advocate for this because I know that people like me, they hide behind doing wrong. Like, if you know me and my person, like, you be like, yeah, but you used to do X, Y, Z. So in your mind, it's like I'm automatically guilty. You understand what I'm saying? Like, if he, you know, he was always doing this, or he guilty. You know what I'm saying? So I handle everything with that, you know, there is no spokesperson, you know, when they already blackballed you. That's the main reason why they always tried to give people felonies and all of that, so they would automatic, you know, the black people have like this strike against them. Now, I'm not gonna say, you know, I was a victim of that. I'm gonna say that yes, you know, after they couldn't, you know, sustain no bullshit. Like, you know, like, imagine a person trying to catch you for shit, but the shit that they trying to catch you for is really not what you doing. So they're mad that they can't catch you for what they think you doing, but the problem is you're really not doing that. So they'll, you know, but not to say that you're not doing nothing. You understand what I'm saying? So, and that's just in reality, because I always think about how you always hear, like in the movies, or you hear cops say stupid shit like, well, if you didn't do this, you did something anyway. So I'm only saying that in relating to that statement. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, okay, but that ain't the point. That's not what I did when you arrested me for that bullshit. You understand what I'm saying? The false and all of that. You know, that's what I'm talking about. So, like I said, you know, even though, you know, I always felt like I was a political prisoner because, like I said, very little, like I said, I'm not going to say I wasn't into crime, meaning that, you know, committing criminal acts against my people, but it it was very little. It might seem like a lot because it were major things in the community, you know what I'm saying? But I put in way more work over here in this way than the damage that, people would try to attribute to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh yeah, but that's very, very small and isolated incidents. You would hope it was isolated. You know what I mean? Whatever. Oh yes, I'm just a grown man eating somebody's teddygrams. No? So, I'm glad you stayed with me. Hung out with me for a minute. And I'm about to slide up out of here. I got my little timer. I see how much time I've been in. I didn't make the complete hour, but I like it like this. Since matter of fact, forgive me for smacking in your ear. That's disrespectful. While we here, I might as well light up with you. Let you see the beauty in these alien berries. Pardon me, I'm looking for my light as usual. 1 minute, please. Let me put you on pause. Okay. I'm back. Bang my goddamn knee. Shit. Oh, shit. Yeah. Let me tell you something. It's smooth as fuck. But this shit hit hard. Now let me tell you, I smoked some of this shit. I still actually got a joint like a nice clip of this shit that I was sitting on. And I never even touched it. I just rolled this right here. You know what I mean? But yeah, people, I just try to give y'all some jewels. I've been looking at, I just started watching Sopranos. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people don't be believing me when I tell them I never watched none of those shows. Like, I never watched Sopranos. I never watched, what's that shit? The Wire and, The Corner, and I never watched none of that stuff because at those times I was actually in the street. You know what I'm saying? So like I didn't need to watch that to like be understood. Like, shit, I'm living it, motherfucker. Like, and you know what I'm saying? I didn't have no time to be sitting down there going, oh, that's fake, and correcting somebody, like on something that really, this crimes is an individual sport that you play with other individuals at time. Right? Now, you could have like a crime family or something like that, but you got to always remember to move in a way where, I don't know, man, like, stay away from that shit. That's the most I can tell you. You know what I'm saying? Because, even if you win it as a crew, everybody else seem to be in that shit as an individual sport. So that's my words of wisdom. You know what I'm saying? Stay safe, be wise, and enterprise. Peace. This is your boy Juice Warner with another episode of Smoke and Joke, where we discuss today's topics while indulging in the greatest of herbal essences. And today's show was brought to you by alien berries. Yo, when I tell you these fruits are foreign, these fruits are foreign.